Welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Big trade in the NBA this week. The Atlanta Hawks sent Trae Young to the Washington Wizards for CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert. It was basically a straight salary dump. They were trying to get off the rest of Trae's money for this year and a $50 million option for next year. Atlanta was just trying to clear cap space. They did it last year when they sent DeAndre Hunter here, and now they just did it again. They've got other moves they're making down the road, but the question as it pertains to Cleveland is, what does that mean about Darius Garland? We've had the conversation all year long. I think Darius is about $100 million guaranteed over the rest of this season and 2 years to follow. He's been a topic of trade conversations. I haven't bought it at all. I don't think the value is there, and I'm wondering, did this convince you guys that there is no market for Darius? Do you still think that there is, or should they do a move like this where they're basically dumping him on a couple of expiring contract veterans who may help you a little bit, but it would at least get the Cavs out of the second apron?
Nah, man, no value. I'm not taking no shots about, I think Darius is a very good player in this league. I think he's a great scorer. I think, he's a good facilitator, and I think it's just the problem is his slider frame and the defensive liability. And, when you look at it, when Kevin Durant comes out and says it, during the offseason, like now guys are just hunting matchups, and Darius Garland is awesome on the offensive end, but you take a look at, his plus minus last night against the Minnesota Timberwolves with Ant Edwards and big guys and guys like that, and they're 6'5 plus, he's minus 20 something or minus 24 on the plus minus. And so when you look at it, Trae Young is a guy who's a high-volume shooter. He averages more assists than Darius Garland. He does not have the same injury history as Darius Garland, and they gave him away for Minimowski.
Yeah.
So what do you think you're going to do to get off this contract? I don't see the value there.
First of all, I ain't trading Darius Garland at all. Y'all know that's my favorite player on the Cavs, and Darius is here to stay for the long. I just bought a Darius Garland jersey. You think I'm about to? No, he ain't getting traded. I'm glad he ain't got no value.
That's crazy.
I think
that came off so bad.
I didn't mean it like that, but I'm glad.
Yeah.
I think that Darius has just got to be one of those guys that He has to understand that he will be the guy that everybody's going to go at because of the fact that he's smaller and he's a defensive liability. How he counters that is he has to be so great offensively that it counters the fact that he's a defensive liability. So that's where he is. Obviously, he's had that injury to start the season. That's been some while ago. He's had some games where he's played really well. We just need it more consistently. You're getting good games out of Donovan Mitchell, and even Donovan has had games where he's took his foot off the gas a little bit, and we needed somebody to pick up that slack. Darius has to be that guy because Darius has had moments where people have talked about him like he's one of the best guards in this league. He just doesn't do it on a consistent basis. And if this Cavs team want to get to where they have to go, it's going to come from Darius Garland. We thought it would be Evan Mobley. It's not. And Evan is fine. I mean, Evan is who he is.
He's a good player.
The one wild card on this team has always been Darius Garland. Darius is a player that can go for 40 if he's locked in. If the floater is and the mid-range shot is dropping and the three-point is hitting, Darius can be a very dangerous weapon. We just need that to be more consistently. That's all we're missing with this team right now.
Jason, Darius Garland got to be Kyrie Irving.
That's not going to happen.
I'm asking for a lot.
But
I hear what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
The role. Kyrie was, I'm getting 25. I averaged more shots than LeBron, and I'm going to be an assassin offensively.
Yeah, Darius is not Kyrie, unfortunately. Prime Kyrie, who was here, in 2016. He's a flawed player, particularly defensively, but this is the Cavs' best shot. There is no trade out there that's going to make this team better. Can you find something that's going to get off his money and get you out of the second apron? I guess, yeah, sure. But you're trying to win a championship. This is your window. So there's no trade exists, in my mind, that moves Darius and makes this team better. Therefore, I think you got to keep him and ride it out.
Yeah, when you look at what Atlanta did versus the situation Cleveland's in, I don't think Atlanta's looking at themselves right now and saying we can win a championship.
They are not.
Trae Young had a $50 million player option.
Yep.
They were not ready to commit long-term money to Trae Young. in their mind, it makes more sense to, hey, let's turn Trae Young, who, by the way, has been hurt all. He's played 10 games this entire season, into guys that may be able to help us this year, but we're off their money a lot quicker, and now we have more flexibility to make other moves that we can now use those moves to become a championship contender. The Cavs are in their championship window, and they traded for DeAndre Hunter last year. They pushed their chips in on the table. They went into the second apron. They're the most expensive roster in basketball. You don't become the most expensive roster in basketball and decide, oh, yeah, we're not a championship team.
Correct.
If the Cavs want to salary dump Darius Garland for pieces for the future, it completely goes against the entire timeline they've spent the last 4 years putting together. It makes no sense, and although Darius Garland is admittedly a flawed player, look at the Cavs' offense when he doesn't play. They are not the same team. Their offense takes a significant step back, and to G's point, yes, he has his defensive flaws. He needs to play at an offensive level to where it balances out to at least a net neutral.
Yeah.
If they do that and they get help, the Cavs can make a deep playoff run.
Do you guys play poker?
Yes.
No.
You know the term pot committed?
No.
When pot committed is when you have so much money in the hand you can't get out.
You pay full.
You got to see the river.
You got
to see the river card.
Listen, it's too much in the you too invested.
You are pot committed. You can't fold now.
Whatever you got.
The Cleveland Cavaliers are pot committed to this season, and they knew that going in. There is no out. You don't fold your hand now. You ride this thing out. This is a talented team. These are the same pieces that won 60, what was it? I keep messing up. 64
65 games.
They won 64 games last year. Now, we talk about on the YouTube show, did they overachieve last year during the regular season? Yeah, probably. Did they underachieve? Did they underachieve during the playoffs? Absolutely. So what else is in there? And we know we have not seen the best version of this team yet. Max Strus is still at least a month away.
They better flip the switch.
There will be time for them to put the pieces together. You have to ride this out and hope.